Good evening, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So a lot of people tell me that they like to listen to my videos while they're laying in bed at night right before they fall asleep, or when they're doing the dishes or cleaning their house, or sometimes people have a long commute and they like to listen as they drive. This kind of gave me an inspiration to create a new series for you guys called the Nighttime series. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a nighttime video. You can listen to it or watch it at any point during the day, obviously, but I thought I would make a series of videos dedicated only for those people who like to listen to my videos. So this, I think, will give us an opportunity to get to know each other a little bit better, give me an opportunity to discuss certain topics with you guys that might be of interest, and this can be perfume related or not perfume related, whatever you prefer. So I thought, what better way to start off this series than with the Q&A video that I promised you. So if you enjoy this video and if you like the idea of a nighttime series, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. And if there's any other questions that you would like answered that I haven't addressed in today's video, also put that down in the comments so that I can answer them in a future Q&A. So I've selected 15 questions from the questions that you guys gave me in the community tab, and they're kind of a mishmash. They're all different topics, and I'm not really going to go in any particular order. So let's start out with question number 1. If you were to only have one fragrance for the rest of your life, which one would you pick? This one is a little bit difficult because you guys know I have a few favorite fragrances. One that comes to mind is Alien, but the issue that I have with Alien is that it's not necessarily appropriate for all occasions. So I would be more tempted to pick something that's more everyday appropriate, sweet, and you could still wear as a nighttime scent, but you could definitely get away with it during the daytime. And that would probably be Miss Dior from Christian Dior. That one I think kind of hits all of the nails on the head. I think you have a good daytime perfume. I think you could wear it for a date. You could also wear it for the office, for brunch, and it's just a beautiful feminine fragrance all the way around. And if it wasn't those two, I would probably go with Chanel Chance Eau de Parfum, which is my third favorite fragrance. The second question, and I actually get a lot of people asking me this, is what do I do for work outside of YouTube? The truth is, YouTube is not even close to my full-time job. This is something I do for enjoyment on the side. I just really enjoy sharing things with you guys and engaging with you, and I love sharing my hobbies and passions. But my full-time day job is as a registered nurse, and I have worked in the emergency department, also on medical surgical, and currently I work in a palliative hospice unit. So mostly we focus on palliative care. So that is where I'm currently working full-time when I'm not here at home and doing things on YouTube. The next question is, what has been your favorite trip so far? So this is really interesting for me because I don't often get to talk about other things than perfumes on my channel. So one of my favorite places to visit is Las Vegas. So I really love the food and the luxury and the shopping aspect of Las Vegas. I'm not much of a gambler and I don't drink, but I love that everything in Las Vegas is kind of right at your fingertips if you want to do some luxury shopping, or even if you want to do some exploring or do some hiking or going outside. The desert is right nearby, and Red Rock Canyon, and I just love combining all of the elements of the luxury lifestyle with that beautiful countryside as well. So I have to say Nevada is one of my favorite places. I also really like Los Angeles, California. I really like, again, that it combines that luxury lifestyle and the beauty and just the sophistication of it, along with the really chill sort of hippie chic vibes that you can get if you go someplace closer to like Venice Beach, or the really cute little houses in the different neighborhoods. I absolutely love the chill vibe of Los Angeles, and I also love that everything you could possibly want is also at your fingertips. The next question is another perfume related question, and she says, I know you aren't the biggest fan of fresh scents, but which ones would you say have the best longevity? So actually, I do really like fresh scents. I didn't like them a while ago, but I'm starting to get into them, and I would have to say that the best longevity for my fresher scents, and it's not even a particularly super fresh like citrusy scent, I would have to say Flora Botanica comes to mind. That one again is a little bit more of a green scent. It's a little bit more woody and earthy, but it does have some fresh mint in it, and that one is extremely long lasting. Other than that, I would say something like Chanel Chance Eau de Toilette. That one has okay lasting power and it's quite fresh, or something like Chloe Nomad is also very long lasting. The next question reads, I hope it won't come across too nosy. I'm curious about your video format. Why do you decide to only film perfumes and not yourself like most people do? Sending you lots of love. So The answer to this question, and I sort of addressed this in a video in the past, so if you like, I will link that video for you so that you can watch it. But essentially, when I started my YouTube journey and also my Instagram journey, I never intended to film myself. I've never been somebody who enjoys being on camera or the center of attention or having the spotlight on them, but I do enjoy sharing things. I enjoy sharing beauty and home decor and fragrances and sharing things that I love, essentially, as well as my love for minimalism and decluttering and finding ways to simplify my life. I like to share those things with other people. So it just was never something that I wanted to do, was put myself on camera. I may do that one day. It's something that I'm exploring doing, but for now, this is the format that I'm the most comfortable with, and it's also just the format that has been working well for me. So for now, this is what I'm sticking to. The next question is, I'm curious about the scents that your partner wears and also how do you like your job? So I'm not going to address the job aspect in this question, but I will address the scents that my partner likes to wear. So his favorite colognes are probably all of the Acqua di Gio cologne, everything from the original Acqua di Gio to the Absolute to the Profumo to the Profundo, Profundo, however you say it. He loves the Acqua di Gio fragrances, and I have to say, those are some of my favorite as well. They are so fresh, they're so good for the office, they're good for everyday wear, they're so sexy, they please everybody. They're just such a good line of fragrances all the way around, even though the Acqua di Gio I know is getting a little bit of a bad rep for being sort of an old, like young, it's over and done with kind of a fragrance, but I think some of their newer ones are really amazing. Other than that, his favorite scents are Tom Ford. So he loves ombre leather, and he also loves oud wood, which I also absolutely love those two scents. He's also a huge fan of Parfum de Marly Layton, although he has yet to get a full bottle. And he also really likes Bond 9 Lafayette Street. So I hope that that answers your question. He's not as into perfumes as I am or into fragrances. He's just sort of starting to explore what else is out there. So he kind of has his like go-tos that work for him, and those are the ones he sticks with. And to be really honest, I'm very envious of that. I wish that I had 5 or 6 go-to fragrances that I just kept going back to. It would make my life a lot easier, and I'd probably save a lot of money. So the next question is, where did you grow up? So I have spent all of my life living in Canada, and mostly in northern Canada. When I was younger, my father worked as a air flight specialist for the airport, so we were always traveling, and he loved spending his time in the mountains and near the wilderness and trees, and he just loved being in like northern and sort of western Canada. He loved the Alaska Highway, he loved BC, so we spent a lot of time traveling, and he worked for numerous airports, and so I just kind of floated around and lived wherever he was working. And other than that, I have spent most of my life in South Central Canada. Yeah, I do want to live elsewhere. I definitely want to try traveling abroad, and this is one of those things that when people ask me, why do you declutter so much, or why don't you buy more stuff for your home? Number one, I don't love having a lot of clutter, but I also, if and when I move, I will not be taking everything with me, so I don't want to invest in a lot of high quality, expensive pieces for my home, just in the event that I do move and I have to kind of start all over. So I hope that that answers your question. So I am definitely a Canadian girl, born and raised, and yeah, that's about it. The next question is, other than fragrances, what hobbies do you have? So this is going to sound very lame. I don't have that many hobbies outside of fragrances. I'm not much of a sports person. I honestly love homemaking. I love home decor. I love making a nice home for my family. I love going to the gym. I'm a big fitness fanatic. For those of you who don't know, I am also a certified fitness trainer, which I started doing in 2015. So that is something that's always been a big passion for me, is fitness. And I do go to the gym 4 to 5 days per week. I focus mostly on weight training. Being fit and being healthy is very, very important to me. So that's a huge passion of mine outside of my YouTube channel. I also, like I said, love homemaking. I love cleaning. I love home decor. I love simplifying my life. I love minimalism. I love organizing. I love rearranging furniture. Much to my boyfriend's detriment, he often jokes with me that one day he's going to come home and the fridge will be in the living room and the couch will be in the bedroom. And it's actually kind of a funny inside joke between us. But yeah, those are the things I love to do. If I wasn't buying perfume all the time, I would be buying handbags and home decor. The next question is, how are you doing professionally? Are you experiencing fatigue as a nurse? So this was related more to the circumstance that's going on in the world right now, and unfortunately I can't discuss that in too much detail because then my video would risk becoming demonetized and things like that. So I can't go into too much detail about that on YouTube, but basically I have to say not really. As a nurse, I'm used to dealing with a lot of hardships that come our way, and even when there wasn't the current world circumstances, being a nurse can be very hard, especially working in a palliative unit. You see a lot of sadness and you see a lot of hardships that people go through all the time. And so really where I live, we haven't been quite as affected by the current circumstances. We're not nearly as hard done by as some other areas. But I have to say, just as a human being on Earth, that's where I'm experiencing probably a little bit of fatigue. I'm definitely ready for the borders to open. I'm ready for things to go back to normal. I think it's been hard on all of us. I think all of us are a little bit tired of, people, friends and family that we know, businesses being shut down, stores that we have supported and loved for many years. We've seen them shut their doors, and it's just hard. It's hard as a world, right? All of us are in the same boat, and ultimately I feel like just as a human, I'm definitely experiencing a little bit of fatigue along with all of the rest of you guys. So I hope that that answers your question. The next question is, you have decluttered a lot of perfume. Are there any that you regret now? Is there any that you miss now? Is there any that you want to bring back? So the way that I will answer this question, this is actually really good, and I'm glad somebody asked. Over the year of 2020, that was when I really started getting into perfume. So I never ever set out to be a perfume influencer. I never set out to be a perfume reviewer. I still don't to this day consider myself even a perfume reviewer. That is not my day job, and that is not what my channel began being focused on. I am simply a normal woman who loves perfume and likes to share what I discover with you guys. And in 2020, because of blind buying, because of lockdown and everything else, I ended up purchasing a lot of perfumes online. And just through the nature of having a perfume channel, I also started receiving a lot of perfumes from companies. So I probably, if I didn't declutter along the way, if I didn't declutter every couple weeks, every month, as I'm getting new fragrances, trying new ones out, deciding which ones don't work for me, I would probably have 400 or 500 perfumes right now, which is way too many. I do not want that many. So please don't ever be surprised if you see perfumes being decluttered. Right now, I have it down to a pretty good number. I'm very happy with where I'm at, but the short answer is I don't regret decluttering any of the perfumes I've let go of. There's always the odd one that sometimes I think, oh, I wonder if I would have liked that later. Like Armani C, that's one I always think about because I see people talk about Armani C all the time, but I know that it just didn't work for me. So there's the odd fragrance that sometimes I wish I would have kept a little longer, but ultimately I let them go for a reason, and I've actually repurchased perfumes that I've decluttered before only to find out that I was right the first time and I never should have brought it back. So yeah, so no, I don't really regret decluttering perfumes. I will always review perfumes for you guys, but I probably will not keep all of the ones I review. That's just the way it is. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. The next question, which is a little bit related, is I would like to know how you can afford so many perfumes, sponsors or buy your own. So most of my fragrances, 95% of my fragrances are purchased by myself. And when I first started, they were mostly blind buys. So the reason that I think I've been able to buy so many perfumes is, number one, I prioritize my money. I don't waste money or spend money in a lot of other places. Like I don't do a lot of eating out at restaurants. I don't smoke cigarettes or drink alcohol or anything like that. So I'm not putting money toward other things. Like I easily have a little bit of extra money each month that I can buy a couple perfumes if I want, but I also make use of discount websites. So fragrancebuy.ca is one of my favorite ones. I probably get most of my perfumes from Fragrance Buy. There's also a lot of other online discount retailers like Fragrance Net, perfumeonline.ca. Yeah, and then there is a small portion that are sent to me for free, but most of the perfumes that are sent to me for free, it's not a sponsored thing. So they're not paying me for it. They just send them and say, if you like them, please feel free to review them with your audience. So yeah, some of them are sent to me. Most of them are purchased by myself. I also, when I'm doing my declutters, I go through and I sell the ones that I no longer want. So that gives me a little bit of money. You don't always make your money back, but it gives me a little bit of money so that I can put that toward new perfumes. The next question is, if you could only keep one day scent, one night scent, and one bedtime scent, what would you keep? And they also ask scents that you like to smell on yourself, disregarding other people's opinions. So I will do a video addressing those questions. If I could only keep one for day, one for night, one for bedtime. If you guys are interested, I will do a video similar to that and answer those in a video format for you guys. The next question is the history behind my change of name and the selection process. Some of you guys may or may not know that I did change my name last year, and basically I had never liked my previous name. It just wasn't one that jived with me. It wasn't one that I felt suited me, and I was constantly having to explain myself to people. For instance, if I would phone the bank or if I would phone to book a hotel, people would ask what the name on the account was, and I would tell them, and they would ask me a huge rigmarole thinking that it wasn't truly me because the name didn't suit me. It was a very masculine name. And that's not to say that my previous name isn't beautiful for both men and women, but it was just one that didn't suit me very well. And I kind of just got tired of having to explain myself to people, and I just never felt that that name really suited me. So finally, I decided in 2020 that life is just too short. 2020 really made me realize that you have to leverage the time that you have. And if there's something hanging over your head that is bothering you, or that thing that you just keep thinking about and you keep putting it off, if it's something that inspires you and you really feel that this would make a big difference in your life, you should just go for it. You know, you only get one chance on this earth to do the things you love. You only get one chance to live the life you want to live. So don't wait for things, just do it, and you will not regret it. So that is kind of a little bit of history behind my name change. I'm very happy that I did it. And as for the selection process, I won't go into too much detail about that right now. It's kind of a long story and it's a little bit of a personal story. But yeah, that's about all I will say about that for now. Please let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. The next question is, what was the most difficult thing and the most surprising thing that you learned from YouTubing? So this is multifaceted, but probably the most difficult or surprising thing that I've learned, I would say, is how seriously people take what people say on YouTube and how much people really do influence their viewers. So they refer to YouTubers who review products and things like that as influencers. I've never considered myself really as an influencer, and it blows my mind to think that I would be considered that, because when I started my YouTube, it was never to influence anybody. It was never with the purpose of selling. It was never with the purpose of trying to get people or persuade people to do a certain thing. And I think when it really hit home for me was when people would comment on my declutter videos and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're getting rid of that. I bought that because of you." And I just thought to myself, really? You bought that because of me? Like, I didn't realize the power that YouTubers had, or that so-called influencers had. And it really has given me some perspective and changed the way that I try to word things for you guys. And that's why I give disclaimers all the time, like, please make sure to try before you buy. Please don't buy this just because I bought this. I don't want people to think that everything I talk about, they need to go out and get it, because I have talked about hundreds of perfumes, you guys, literally hundreds, and it makes no sense. Even if all of them are great, it makes no sense for anybody to go out and buy all of those perfumes just because I'm saying they're great. I am not going to have a huge collection, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to review large amounts of items, because that's part of, I guess, the YouTube job, and it's part of what I do now. So that's probably been the most difficult thing for me, is finding a balance between sharing with you what I love and not over influencing, or not trying to influence people or lead them in the wrong way. Or I guess the best way to explain to people, like, okay, I'm telling you about this product, I don't think you should run out and buy it. You know what I mean? And I guess with that, I will say the disclaimer that always, please, buy for yourself. Try before you buy. Just because I have something doesn't mean you should have it. And just because I declutter something doesn't mean you should declutter it. So totally subjective. And I think that's been the hardest thing to overcome, is just people being very touched or taking things personally when I keep or get rid of something. That's probably been the biggest hurdle for me to get over. So that was the last question on our list, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this style of video. If you did, please let me know down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you're still awake, and let me know down below any questions that you would like me to answer if I do another Q&A. And I'm looking forward to doing my next nighttime series video. Bye for now.